Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to WillCast. Thank you for tuning in as always. I appreciate you liking, commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff. And never give up. Welcome to the podcast. How's it going?
Thank you, thank you. Managing?
Um, I've really been. We made this work really quick, like within 24 hours, I think. Right?
Yeah, I have a lot of spare time lately.
I DM'd you on Discord yesterday, and we made it work today, which is awesome. I've never had anybody um, be ready as quickly as you were.
I mean, it's just how it is, I've said it before, my Discord is available for people who need or want someone to talk to. So, especially now, I'm mostly at home, a lot of free time. So,
Mm. That I found, I think about a month ago, YouTube recommended one of your videos to me, and I was really inspired by how positive you are. And I guess if you don't mind, would you like to share kind of your story behind your YouTube channel and your videos?
I mean, that's the thing, I've already done that a bunch of times, but I mean, where should I even begin with something like that? I wanted to, well, it was just a tough time, like long ago, and I wanted to do something different. So, because when life got tough, I used to always write like how I felt in a notepad and then delete it or make like a voice recording. But I just felt like doing, something else this time. So I made a video, I uploaded it. I didn't want anyone to see it. It was like, I didn't want it to be a big video. I wanted it just to be like, you know. Just a lost video in the internet, but then, it went the way it went,
It blew up massively.
I
And
guess.
have you ever thought of how many people's lives you've actually impacted positively by that video?
Oh, yes, I'm reminded of that constantly.
And
And I mean,
sorry, go
that's
ahead.
probably why I still do this because, I mean, I don't really make much money off YouTube, so it's more of a hobby. I more do it for like to try to do something, to be there for others. More like the entire Discord thing I do is like I don't get anything out of that.
Mm.
I just do it because I want to.
Yeah, that's amazing. And like I also told you in my Discord DM, I guess, I think it's very inspiring for someone to talk about these things openly because there are, including myself in a way, I'm super short and I was super resentful at the world at some point. And your videos really remind people that even though you might be dealt a shit hand in life, there's still so much else in life, and you can still live a positive life. And it's really inspiring, man. Like really.
I mean, it depends so much on how things are. I mean, there are people who are in a locked situation. If you're in a locked situation, then, there's not much you can do. Life is what you make of it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if you're not, if you're like, for instance, like, especially lately, like when I first started Discord counseling 6 years ago, it was mostly like middle-aged men who were like me and had like a tough time. Today, it's more like teenagers or like kids that like struggle with school and like a lot of bullying and stuff like that. There's more of that than anything else. And it's like that's when, life is in your hands and it is what you make of it.
Yeah, I agree completely. How do you it might be a silly question, but do you do any like exercises regularly in your mind to stay positive, or how do you stay so positive, I guess? Cuz
People ask
even
me,
sorry,
it's
go
hard
ahead.
to say because everyone works differently. To me, it's hard to explain because I'm not special in that way. I'm like everyone else. I get really tough times. I can get very depressed and all that, but it's not very long-lived for me. I feel like eventually there's like this very strong warm light inside that says that like it will change, it will get better. Like just like it's a very comforting feeling that just comes and goes, and it's like very it that's probably where my optimism comes from. I get told pretty often that I'm overly optimistic about things, but I mean, I think that's a good thing.
Oh, absolutely. I always say I've lived two different lives, which is kind of weird because I'm only 24 years old. Like, what? How long can a life have been, right? But I started a couple of years ago to see the world in a different way, and exactly as you said, I tried to be overly optimistic and really look for all the good things in life. Whereas before, I was so pessimistic. I was so upset and resentful at the world. And it is so much better, such a better, much of a better life to just look at things positively. Look at all the positive things.
True, but not everyone is capable of doing that. It like depends on so many things.
What kind of things do you think makes a person capable or not capable of that?
I don't know. That's it. You're asking kind of how the mind of like 8 billion different people work is like it depends on the person.
I was
But
just
I'm
asking what you think. I mean, I don't necessarily expect you to have the answer because I certainly don't. Just
it
what are your
it
thoughts
can be
with the?
literally anything. It can be your childhood, it can be like experiences, it can be so many things that lead up to. I mean, I've spoken to a lot of people and it's some people have it exactly the same, but then here every now and then, like there comes this one person who's like, "Oh, this is the first time I hear this," you know?
He hear what? Sorry.
This is the first time I hear this. Like it's like,
Oh.
"Oh, your story is kind of new, so this
Mm,
is how you feel," you know? It's like because a lot of people have pretty similar problems, but like no one is really like, "Oh, this is a unique me problem," but once in a while there's this person that comes along and is like really different compared to everyone else. And it's like, oh, so it's different for you, you know?
yeah.
So it's hard to say. It depends on so many things. Everyone's unique and different in their own way.
Yeah.
And
And I.
even if they aren't, because some people are very much the same, and even if they are very much the same, they're still like they're still their own version of that, you know?
Yeah, and I guess people also experience pain differently. So like a depression might feel different on different people.
I mean, it hits people differently, but I feel like the emotion is kind of the same for all.
Yeah.
I feel like the emotion is the same, but everyone's affected by it differently. I mean, pain is pain, you know.
Mm.
If I sting you with like if I sting you with like a needle, you're gonna feel basically the same thing I would feel. Like it's maybe to a different degree, but it would still be the same feeling.
Yeah, but people's physical pain tolerance is different though.
I don't think so. I think that both mind and body is kind of the same in a way. It's but both of them can be worked on and improved, unless, like I said before, you're in a locked situation.
Mm. I see what you mean. If this is like super not personal to you, but maybe to the people you talk to, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but what kind of advice, I guess, or things do you discuss with the people that reach out to you?
Oh, it's up to them. Some people just need to complain about the world. Some people just want some tips or advice on how I did things or how what they should do. And then some people just want an online buddy, you know, they just need someone to talk to here and there. And it's like I'm down for everything, but I'm not down for people that want to give me advice.
Mm.
Whenever someone leaves like a very generic like YouTube comment like, "Oh, you're such a good guy, go on." I'm just like, "You just wasted you just wasted my time." You know, I don't want praise. I'm just trying to help out and be there for people, that's all.
I get that you don't want praise, but how come you not like advice?
Um, I feel like I mean, it sounds so bad saying it out loud, but it's just like I already feel like I got most things figured out. Like I
Mm.
already know what I need to do. I know what makes me happy. the things I've done in the past, even though I've made mistakes and I've learned from them, there's there's very few times anyone has told me something that is useful. It's like I don't feel like I need that. And most people's advice is so people don't know how to give advice because this is how you do it. If you really care about someone, if you really want to help someone, you never start out by saying, do this or do that.
Mm,
The first thing you do is you listen. You listen to that person, to what they have to say. And after they're done talking, then you have to like make a judgment on what would be beneficial for that person.
I
But
see.
that's not what people do. People are so self-centered. They contact you and they're immediately projecting their own views and feelings without knowing anything about you. That's
Mm.
not helping anyone.
I completely see what you're saying, and that goes back to again everybody being unique and different. That you can't just give a generic general advice to somebody because you don't if you don't know their situation first. Is but so you kind of get upset when people try to reach out and give you advice, but I think because reading from your comment section, people are so nice. Do you think they're trying to give advice to be annoying, or do you think they genuinely try to be nice?
People don't really know what they want. That's the thing. Most people today, uh, I mean, I'm very odd. When I was like 15 or 14 or whatever, I that's when I started my self-improvement journey because I was sick of it all because I was fat and all that. I'm like I'm gonna improve and change. So I didn't just work on my body, I spent a lot of time on my mind. I meditated like 15 to 40 minutes every day, and it was like the mental strengthening one. So I kind of got all the answers about myself and who I am as a person and what I need. And that's the thing, people don't really do that. Most people today they don't think. And it irritates me sometimes. It irritates me how like people are so unaware and they don't know what they want. They think
Mm.
they know what they want and I don't know, I can't relate to people.
But do you think that goes back to again people not being able to think, as you say, again because of you don't know their situation? They could have been grown up with parents that didn't teach them how to think.
Of course, and I was like that. I was literally retarded when I was a child. Like I didn't understand anything. And so that's obviously a thing that could have happened. I mean, I never really judge someone. It's just like if someone, for instance, we were talking about if someone like adds me on Discord just to, without the reasons why because my Discord is public for like reasons. If people add me outside those reasons, then usually, unless they're really obnoxious, I just ignore them.
Hmm.
That's why I'm not gonna start harassing anyone just for no reason. But
No.
it's like, it's just kind of like, okay, you know. Sometimes I do reply. Sometimes I tell them like, okay, thanks. Just like
Do people keep going then after you've left a reply like that?
it's different from everyone. There's people who literally just, it's basically like they leave a YouTube comment and they want me to really read it. Some
Hmm.
people do that and it's a that's annoying as hell, but it's like, okay, I get it. If it makes them happy. I really like trying to make people happy, so I don't mind. I really don't mind.
Hmm.
But it's like some
Do
people are very obnoxious. Like I hate the gym cult. I really hate the gym cult.
which part of it?
All of it. I hate people who push the gym and religion. Like people who push gym working out and like religion, those are like the most obnoxious people I know.
I think anybody who pushes any ideology onto anybody is annoying.
Yes.
But so do you not like fitness in general, or just the people who don't? Or
Oh no. I like fitness. I think it's good and I always that's something some people really need fitness. I need fitness. Like it's a good thing. It's just you don't really need a gym. You don't need to go to a gym to be fit. You can do it other ways. You can
yeah.
work out at home. You can like there's other ways you can do. You don't have to go to the gym. But that's the thing. People those people are like, no, you have to go to the gym and that's all that counts, you
Yeah.
know. It's all about becoming a big ogre, a big muscle ogre, you know,
That's
and that's like, no, that's not gonna do anything. I mean, you don't need to do that
yeah,
in a way.
I think fitness helps so much with mental health, but it can also go the opposite way, exactly like you say. If you're so focused on becoming just a massive ogre, instead of focusing on, in my opinion, what fitness is really about is feeling good mentally and physically.
I'd say it's feeling good physically. I don't agree on the whole mental thing. I
No?
mean, sure, when you work out, it releases endorphins or whatever it's called, and it makes you like you do get happier when working out. But when you mean becoming happy, I don't think that's gonna help you at all. I mean, it didn't help me when I was young because I was really fit. Like it's not on, I have no videos and no pictures from that time. But when I was like really young and going through all these things, I was in really good shape. I was able to run, you know, I was in really good shape. It never changed anything being in good shape in that way.
No?
No.
For me, um, I of course I feel good when I work out, but it just gives me more energy throughout the day in general. Having been to the gym, which in my opinion makes me more happy to not be tired throughout the day.
That's very unrelatable to me because I'm always tired no matter what.
Yeah, even if
Yeah.
you how often do you work out?
Every day, like I do small workouts during the day, but then I also have like one morning pass and one like mid pass and like sometimes evening pass.
Mm. And you work out from home?
Yeah, I work out at home. I have
That's
pretty good equipment at home,
that's awesome.
especially now.
I do calisthenics too, so bodyweight training. So that's really cool. What kind of exercises do you do?
Just all kinds. Like I do push-ups, pull-ups, crunches, ab roll. I have an ab roller. I have weights, so I lift, you know. I also do a form of sword dancing. I really like that. I've been
Oh,
doing that my entire life. Uh, I have a treadmill too. I also take around 40 to 60-minute walk every morning. The moment
that's
I
really
wake up,
nice.
that's how I start the day. I start the day with a long walk, you know. So yeah, I mean, and I haven't always been doing it. It's tough. It's been tough when I've been with Lullaby because I haven't been feeling motivated.
Mm,
But now after when I'm back to being single, it's like yeah, now I've been going really hard at it. So
yeah, that's it's got to be amazing to take morning walks in Sweden. The nature is so beautiful.
um, it's very cold.
Yeah, I could imagine. Yeah.
It's very cold during summer and like when it's not that cold, it's okay. But in Sweden, it's more cold than warm during the year. So
I was just in Sweden a month ago. I was in Söderåsen.
I
I
don't know what that is. I don't know. I don't know geographics.
okay. Do you live up north of Sweden or down
I live in
south?
Dalarna.
I have no idea where that is.
It's like in the kind of in the middle, kind
Oh,
of.
okay. Yeah, we were at the bottom of Sweden, but it does the
Oh,
nature get more intense the further up north you go?
yeah, it does get colder. It does get colder.
And like does because I'm so bad at geography as well. Does it like the mountains get more intense than down south?
Um,
Do you know?
I've not seen that many mountains, which is funny because I've lived a little bit everywhere. There are many hills though.
Hmm.
I'd say Sweden is very hilly.
Okay. Yeah, because
Yeah.
Denmark is just flat. It's completely flat. We have nothing nothing
I'm kind
exciting.
of jealous because I always end up living on a hill
Yeah,
and it's really annoying.
but that's good good cardio though. Taking
It
walks
is
up
good
on.
exercise, but it's also annoying.
Hmm. I could imagine.
I
Um.
mean, yeah, during winter I stay at home. When it's snow, I don't go out, so I have my treadmill for that.
How long is the winter in Sweden? Because it's a bit different than Denmark, I think.
All year.
All year round?
I don't know, it starts around now, October, November. Starts being really, I mean, it's winter cold. Like it's not always snowy, but it's like, yeah, starts around now, and then it lasts until like, I don't know, May,
Mm,
June, May, maybe, something like that. The weather has changed a lot. When I was young, like the way the seasons work, they have changed a lot.
I know. It has too in Denmark because we barely got any snow at all last year. And when I was a kid, it snowed for at least 3 months, and it's so weird. I mean,
It's not, that's not what I mean. What I mean is like, oh, we started getting snow in like November, December, but now you get snow in like January.
so it shifts.
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
it's like the seasons shift past our like clocks, kind of.
oh, that's really interesting. I wonder if that's a cause of global warming too, or is that natural?
That's what some people think. I just think that I think the world rotates, you know? I just
Ah,
think the angle the world rotates is changing the way the weather happens. But I mean, again, it's hard to say.
that
You
does
never
make
know.
sense though. Yeah. Ah, that's very interesting. I've never thought about that. Does so you mentioned you take walks in the morning, which I think is amazing. I would love to do that. I'm lazy, I guess, in the morning. I really want to do that. But so does the walking itself help your mental health, and what about like nature, being out in nature in general? Do you think that helps mental health?
I mean, that's hard to say for me. For me, it's like some days it helps, some days it's kind of worse. I sometimes get depressed when I go out.
Mm,
So it's like it depends on the day. But overall, like any exercise, anything you do for yourself that's beneficial, it does release endorphins in your brain, and that does make you feel better in one way or another most of the time.
mm.
So I'd say, yeah, it's always healthy and good to do some form of exercise.
Why do you think
Yeah,
you get depressed when you go outside? I mean, you don't have to answer this. Probably personal.
it's it's just, I mean, it depends on what has happened and waves and stuff. You know, emotions go and come in waves. Some days you just feel happy, some days you feel very sad.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like the past month I've been really isolated until like 1 week ago. Like I really don't meet anyone. Like I'm very, I don't have a job. I'm all alone at home. It's it that can get to you eventually.
Mm. Is that intentional or
No, it's not intentional.
okay?
But I mean, yes and no in a way. I mean, I know that if I really want to do, I could change that, but I don't know. So I'm not really the type of person that wants a lot of friends.
Mm,
What I do want is, you know, people always ask me, you're so into like dating and that, but that's like my passion. Being in
mm,
love and having a soulmate is like what makes me happy. That's
ah,
what I strive for in life. But right now, I don't feel like I'm ready for it, you know.
yeah.
I guess I'm not. So I'm gonna spend a year or two working out and improving myself. And yeah, when I'm ready, I'm gonna get back into it to see how it goes in life. You never know.
Mm. And do you do online dating?
Oh yeah, I don't think it's really good for a person like me or most people today in general to do real life dating.
Why not?
Well, first off, we live in a world where if you try to hit on a woman, you might be arrested.
Mm,
That's one thing. It depends on the, like your city and place and all that, but like that's one thing. Secondly, it's like if whenever you do date in person, the first thing people will notice is how you look, and that's not really my strong side. Like I don't want to be rejected in front of other people. I
mm.
rather it's okay if it's online, it's not okay if it's like in person.
But
If that makes any sense.
But do you not think that? Because I would think that dating apps are even more about your appearance, because that's literally, what you rate people on, and you
It's
decide.
it's
Uh,
actually the opposite. It's literally the same. Like the only thing dating apps do, they just show the cold, like blunt truth on how dating is. Because dating is the same, like if you would date in real life. The difference is in real life, you can actually fall in love with someone. And like you don't do that when you go out and hit on someone. You do that in like a school or work environment. And you don't choose who you fall in love with. You can fall in love with anyone, unattractive or attractive or whoever. So that's the one thing you can do in real life that you can't do online. But when it comes to like purely dating or if you look for someone, then it's literally exactly the same. It's just way more obvious online.
hmm. That's very interesting, because I would think I'm not. I used to date when I was a teenager. The past few years, I've just been doing me, kind of. So it's been a while since I've really dated. But I would think that meet in when you go out and ask somebody for their number or whatever, you have a better chance at showing off some of your other traits, like your personality.
People don't
But
really care about that today. I mean, people say that matters, but it's statistically like they've done research and science on it. People don't really care about that.
no.
No, like the first thing anyone will like this is how it works. You need to be fuckable. It
Hmm.
sounds it sounds so random. It's like you need to be a fuckable person because that's basically a big thing. Like most people don't really want love today, especially not young people. They just, want to get laid.
Hmm.
And like you don't really most people that hit on someone don't hit on them to like start something long. So it's like the first thing and most important thing is, are you attractive? Like, are you gonna be good in bed? That's the first impression people give. And if you don't look like it, then it doesn't really matter how you act or sound. They've done like studies and tests on that. They've taken like unattractive people with like really showy personalities and like send them in and it seems like they do good. Like it really does. It seems like the women enjoy their company and that's the thing. Like women do enjoy a good personality and like you can be good company, but whenever it comes to the giving out number and people wanting to go further with something like that, that they don't that doesn't really help you. Your personality doesn't help you that much with that.
That's very interesting. I definitely agree that, the first impressions are also very important. And I think that's why I was super resentful for being short, because it's also shown, that short men
Yeah.
are not as attractive as
I
tall
mean,
guys.
it depends. That depends on a lot of things because there are some things that are more important than others when it comes to physical attraction. But they did a test it was like a country where being it like because it depends on where you live. It very much depends on where you live. It's very different cultures everywhere. And they did a test in a country where they took a bunch of guys and they took one guy that was really, really short and they said like the short guy is a millionaire, and like none of the women wanted to be with him, even though he was like supposed to be super rich and stuff. Like they just passed on him right away, like literally everyone.
Mm.
So it depends. It depends. But then you have people like I've known some really short people that are super short. Like the person, like the most successful person when it comes to women and dating and all that is actually really, really, really short.
Who is the
Like
most
so,
successful person in that?
what?
Who is that?
Oh, it's one of my childhood friends. Like he's really not tall at all. Like I would consider him very short,
Mm.
but not giving out names.
No,
But
of
yeah,
course not.
but yeah, I mean, so being tall or short depends, of course, from person to person and on culture. But in the whole grand scheme of things, it's not the most important thing.
Mm. What do you think is the most important thing? Do you think it is looks?
I mean, it depends. Again, there are 8 billion people and everyone
Of
has
course.
different tastes.
We're just
There are
speaking generally, I guess.
There are people who love like a very good body over anything else. There are people who value like breast size or your dick size and stuff like that. But I would say the most common and most desired thing is like a symmetrical and good face. And that's scientifically proven, not only in adults, but even in children and babies. Like small babies and children react more better to people who have a very symmetrical face.
Hmm.
So it's like it's proven that that's what is the thing, you know, like there are studies and science behind it all.
So is that the most important thing for
Yeah.
long-term dating or for just to get laid? Do you think it's
I
the
would
same?
say to get laid,
Yeah.
definitely to get laid. Even, but it's important in dating in general. However, people who do have that also have a harder time finding long-lasting dates, and usually like the relationships end up being like really bad. People end up in abusive relationships. They end up with like fighting a lot, and it's not very serious and romantic because people who are very attractive, they don't really value love.
Yeah.
They don't, most people don't even know what that is, you know.
I think you're absolutely right. Because it comes so easy to them to get laid, I guess, if you're super attractive.
It's the same if you're rich. If
Yeah.
you're very rich, you don't value money. I
Yeah.
mean, and I'm not rich, but I've been very secret. I've been living like on I've never had to work for money really. Like
Mm.
I started getting money decently when I started doing YouTube. But in general, like I don't value money either. So I don't mind like if I'm having friends over or well, like for instance when I met Lullaby and like she was living here, like I never really cared about money. Like money never bothered me because I never had to work for it. And that's it's the same with like rich people. Like they don't value money and they can't like relate or understand really to people who don't have it, you know.
Mm. Yeah. That's true. I've never really thought about that for attractive people, I guess, but you're right. Um.
I mean, it's just how it is. You can just look at people who live those type of lives. It's like, yeah.
So do you think? So this might be a dumb question. I don't know, but so if they can't get long lasting relationships if they're attractive.
They can, but it's not as common.
No, of course not. But let's speak like in general. If we say that attractive people have a harder time being in long lasting relationships because they have a hard time valuing that, just like the rich people have a hard time valuing money. Uh, do you think they're okay with that, or it might be a stupid question? I don't know.
Oh yeah, I mean, of course, people who have a good and easy life, they live in like almost a zombie-like trance, you know. Rich people, very attractive people, they just live in the now. They're just enjoying themselves. They have fun. They don't really think about things that much.
But do you think that for the long term life,
Oh
because
no, it hits them when they get old. Yeah,
yeah, that
it hits them very hard. That's why, you know, many like there are so that's why you have those sour bitches, if you say it like that. Like especially older women here in Sweden. Like most like old women are super cranky and angry because like their life has changed so much, and it's
yeah,
like
because if
it
they were
affects you
super
when you get
attractive when they
older.
were young and then
Yeah,
they
you
get
had
older,
everything when you're younger, and then you get
yeah,
older, and it changes a lot. And I've talked to people who, not only old people, but I've talked to young people who've been in like accidents or like men who had like looked very good young and now they're older and like how everything changed and how they found new respect for people and all that. So
mm,
of course that changes it changes with time. But I mean everyone's different. Some people don't really change ever.
yeah. Do you see? Because this is, of course, a biological thing, right? People's needs, what people want, I guess, how they react to different things. Do you think that will change at some point? Again, it's a super spec.
Um, no, I think people aren't gonna change in that way. However, with technology, things might change. I mean, at one point, probably. there's gonna be sex robots and stuff, and women, like being with a real woman is gonna be less desirable at that point.
Mm.
And yeah, I think there's gonna be, because how it is now is like it's supply and demand. M Men are struggling and having it tough. Women kind of have it pretty easy when it comes to dating.
Yeah.
But if in the future, if there's more like technology to meet men's needs, I think it's gonna equal out a bit,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's gonna be a bit different in the future, maybe. You never know, though. You never know. If that never happens, then I don't think things will change. I mean,
Mm.
they might.
Yeah, once we get into the metaverse and you can have sex with something inside the metaverse, like once technology allows that, it's like people probably won't want like a
Already
physical.
kind of like that some way. I know people who are completely like sexually satisfied and happy with their lives just from like online interactions,
Mm.
just from, they don't really need being around people.
Mm. Yeah, or even pornography, porn online. Like some people just get
And
sexually.
so yeah, for some people, maybe sure. I mean, there's definitely some of them, but I feel like when it comes to all that, there needs to be some kind of response from something human.
Mm.
I think so.
Yeah, human interaction, human connections. I think you're right. So, but does that so for the people you know, this is super interesting to me, that are satisfied with just online interactions? Is that a real human connections? Do you know what I mean? Because of course it's a human on the other side of the
It's
phone.
kind of half and half, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Personally, that wouldn't be enough for me.
Mm.
Like I like real humans and like yeah.
S-
But I mean, to some people that's enough. But everyone's different. Everyone has different tastes and needs and all that.
It's a super interesting conversation, and I completely agree. Everybody is super different. Um, Thank you so much for taking your time to talk to me, man. This was a really fun conversation, really interesting.
I'm glad you liked it. If there's anything else.
Yeah, and if there's ever anything I can do for you, again, I know you said you don't like to be praised, but I honestly do think that what you're doing is helping a lot of people. So that is really appreciated.
I mean, yeah. Again, anyone watching this or listening to this, if you ever have a hard time or you feel very lonely, need someone to talk to, you can always message me on Discord. It's public for everyone.
And what is the name of the Discord so people can find it?
Gee, what was it now again? Destru, uh, 9307.
Awesome. And people can also find your Discord on the YouTube channel
All
Never
of my
Give Up.
videos in the description.
Yep.
It's
Awesome.
always there.
Awesome. Thank you so much again, man. I appreciate it.
No problem, no problem.
And to the listeners, thank you so much for tuning in as always. I really appreciate it. Take it easy. Peace.